And we're live. I just actually did the countdown then. Hi, Leanne. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, hon. And you?
Good. Yeah, I'm fine. Chinkies, hang on.
I was going to say, is that you or me?
No, it's mine. It's one of the things I forgot. We've slightly rearranged my webcam to those who were used to seeing me a different height. It was pointed out. I'm just going to leave that sitting way over there, and hopefully the sound of it's not going to improve. I haven't done all the normal checks that I normally do, like turn off a phone. So I'm just going to, what do you call it? Blimeys. I did with the phone, close everything, but I didn't do the airport mode because that's how I silence mine. So I've just done that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, if we keep hearing it, we know now it's my end because I've got a funny feeling my iPad is buried in the box next to me that still hasn't been unpacked from the weekend, like the car.
Yeah. Yeah. I did mine yesterday because I didn't have as much stuff as you do.
Oh, I had a car and a trailer. Oh, my God.
It's amazing.
Crazy.
Like, I really enjoyed the experience. Yes, you put me in a out of my comfort zone thing again. So that's the third time I think we've encouraged me positively.
I love it. I'm sure there's going to be more.
Oh, yeah, there is. I have accepted an invitation to go to a Mildura event.
Yes,
so
lovely.
That's already accommodation booked, application put in, as soon as the invoice is done, and all the process around actually going into the field and putting oneself out there as a psychic medium.
Love it.
It's scary. It's scary. It actually is, to a degree, scary. And I was thinking myself even this morning. Oh, actually, it wasn't this morning so much. It was yesterday. As I was trying to, what's the word for it? I was buggered. I felt really tired, and I didn't have the products and stuff to cart in and out and pack and unpack and all the rest like you do. It's just me. I have, and for the event yesterday, no, it's not even yesterday, on Sunday.
I was going to say.
Table and chairs were supplied. All I needed to take was me, my booking stuff, my little booking table to put the folder on, to put names on. The way I was being paid was through PayPal here, and I did get what's that thing? The square.
The square
one as a backup.
Yeah.
Because it's not that I'm technologically challenged, it's that sometimes it takes a little bit to work the connection properly. So it was a little bit on the difficult side. Now I'm going to try and get this camera, so bear with me, and I'm not going to be able to do it very easily, get this camera working a bit closer to me here because I'm looking sideways. Oops. And I know it's a bit of fiddling around. I'm looking sideways because my comments thing's there, and I'm looking right over here in that instance, which I don't want. The reason for the mucking around here, because I'm going aside, I'm going off track here. Because after last week's show, what I did notice even through it was how uneven Leanne and my height was. And I did see a comment somewhere, I'm not naming names, Adair, but there was the unevenness being compared to being a bobblehead. You know, those sort of things. That's
so
what
it's just like you're paying things.
Yeah. So it's that I thought, I did notice it, but you can't do anything about it. Well, I couldn't properly at the time, so I just put up with it and thought,
it's too late.
Well, yes, it's too late. We were on even heights. It's not specifically what you're coming to a show to be picky about, the heights and things like that, but stuff like that does actually matter.
It does.
Because I'm wanting to look at you in the camera because that's what's important, not continually look over here, which I'm having to on the comments because my screen, I've got the new iMac, it's a big screen, and with having my little webcam camera because I prefer this camera than using the one that's actually on the iMac, and I'm looking straight at that, and I'm looking up, and it just doesn't work. And that's where this webcam was. So I was looking up, and it does get to strain, and you're sort of thinking, I'm still looking down there. It's a balance of finding what's working. So
yeah, it is, and it's just practice, and it's playing and looking back at what we've done to find that sort of thing. So, but
takes me back to when you said, we might talk about added comfort zone thing, because it did get me out of my comfort zone. It did actually take me just the table. That's all I had to take with me. And yet yesterday I felt so drained. The energy work does do that anyway. I know that's years of actually being in this field, this industry of working with energy a lot. You get tired after you've done a big day. For me, that was a big day.
Definitely, yeah, and I was feeling it too. But for those that aren't too sure what we're talking about, we had a expo in Murray Bridge on Sunday at the racecourse. Hey, Annette.
It was that reason.
And it was pretty much, would it be the first or the second time that you've actually gone out into a reading with the expectations to do readings? Or to our expo, I should say.
It's actually interesting, ours, because it's actually the second time where it was with intent, just as a psychic medium, tarot card reader. The big one that was the Mind Body Psychic Fair, I initially went in as a hypnotherapy training site the first day and switched for the second day. So. And found, I felt so much more comfortable, but I was really out of my comfort zone that one. That was the first one.
Yeah. So poor Roz, even leading up into the morning of coming, she was like a bit hesitant, and she got there, she pushed through that fear, and and she did an amazing job. So I walked past a few times as I was the coordinator of, the host of the event. So I was walking around just making sure everything's flowing right, and you just look so comfortable. You look so much at home sitting there reading for people. So I must say I am very proud.
Thank you. It felt
You're welcome.
It did feel good. And that's where I think I'm just going through the comments, showing out of the corner of my eye, practicing this peripheral vision, and then acknowledging, we're all actually wonderful. Our awesomeness does show. It really does.
Love it. Can I just say, Dana, honey, I did see that the phone was ringing just as we were about to come live, so I will give you a ring back after the broadcast, honey. Okay.
Yeah. That's the
hey, Mum. Mum's getting a bit excited there, Roz. We're going to see more of you. Excellent.
Well, I'm hoping it's how it pans out. It does feel more comfortable.
The time's right.
And we do have a few questions.
Thank you, honey.
Which we will do some questions.
Hey, Sean. Yeah. I'm not too sure about what you're holding in your hand there, Sean.
What's that with? Oh, God, no. I'm going past that.
Oh, my God, I hate snakes.
Was what I thought. Yeah,
I really hate them. I'm sorry. I missed that one. Listen, I don't
mind. Now, just to go back, comfort zone, even setting up, doing the back end of these Be Live TV shows, whether it's the Tuesday's Intuitive Chat, whether it's Leanne's readings with, I think it's Yvonne tonight, and she has her own solo tomorrow night, and various others. Annette, I know, has started doing a regular weekly show. When we cross-post, it's that factor of it shows up as we individually are doing the show that might be someone else's, which is fine. But it is important, if you want to have the My Time TV host, because these are hosted by My Time TV, this is where the source live is connected to. So that it is important in any of what you're seeing, even now, and in the replay, I think goes back to this anyway. No, look, still make sure that you're clicking on the link that says mytimetv.live. Today's show for this one, the Tuesday's Intuitive Chat with Leanne and Roz, or Roz and Leanne, however I labelled it. It's our show. I don't put any of either.
That's it.
We're all equals in life. It's got the 9s and I think 3 zeros. So check that it's that link. It should be that one for today. Click there and you'll be taken directly to it's the same show, but you're going to have your comments and your questions seen in the back end of this, so that if we get to it, because we know we've found time run out before, it'll get shown up on the screen and part of what I can see. Are you monitoring in the background this time as well with the Facebook page?
I haven't, but I can. But I did put it on my page as well. So for those watching from my page, in the comments is the My Time TV link. So if you have a look, and it should be above the post, above the video as well. So just click on that link and it'll bring you over to here as well. So I will just set my second screen up.
Yeah, it should be in the description above. I checked the numbers, the correct one. And I think with my own, I've put the link again in the comments, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
I might have got distracted. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Don't we all?
Yes. So that's where that's at. So share it out. To those who you think would be interested in either having some questions answered or just have a query or to say hello, whichever way you feel led to that. Our links to our pages are there, our web, Facebook pages or even a website. I'm not sure if we have websites up. I don't, but Leanne might.
I have a website up, but that's actually a good thing. I should put the broadcasts on there each week too. Yeah. I've got to work on the calendar for that today.
Yeah. I'm working with a new webmaster so that I can get it's a Shopify site. I don't know anything about the Shopify much, so it's going to be a learning curve. Another one. I like them.
They're good, aren't they? And it's pushing those boundaries again.
Yeah. And it too got me to thinking, why do we actually when we're trying to find our purpose, because it's still part of where the discovery of, I feel uncomfortable. Sometimes when you feel uncomfortable pushing those boundaries, it may or may not be the direction you're actually meant to be. Maybe it turns out to be totally like, no, don't go there. Or actually, that felt really good, which for me from Sunday, it has the potential of growth. For me, I know that, and so yes, you might see more of me. And it is pushing that, asking the questions, and it got me to thinking, past purpose. What actually is the purpose of why we're asking the questions? What is it that we're not finding for ourselves that we're asking outside and elsewhere? Using the cards or using because that's where Leanne is just so absolutely talented and has the skills and the gift for the mediumship. She connects straight away. I really got to think about it sometimes. For me, it is part of that learning process.
Yeah, and we all have our strong points. So we have a point, we start with a point that we build on, sort of thing, and this comes into my mentoring programs as well. You may have an interest or something that you're being drawn to, and you build on it, you practice it. It doesn't always, and for me, it didn't always come easy, sort of thing, right at the beginning. But the more you do it, the more you trust in what you're doing and you surrender, you go with it. I have other areas that I work in my healings, but it's not my strongest point. My mediumship and my psychic seems to be mine, sort of thing. So, but we're all different. We all work differently, and it's standing in that power, in that energy of how we work, sort of thing, that is important, and owning it. And it's building up that belief that you're good enough as well. And that's a struggle that I've had over the years, is believing what I'm doing is good enough. I've always wanted more. There's, I always feel that there's more there, sort of thing. So, and I must say, Ros, also going into it, we can have that fear that comes in that blocks us. If it doesn't feel right, we don't do it. But there's a difference between not feeling right and the fear that takes over. And when we push through that fear and we realize that, hey, we can do this, it starts to flow. The moment Roz sat down and she got her first client, and I think you had the first client before the doors even open, a lady snuck in about 9:45 or something. And I'm like, wow, Roz is already reading. That lady, like, you know, she's come out of nowhere. The doors hadn't even really opened. Yeah. She just found a way in. I think she followed a stool holder in by memory. And she found Roz. Yeah. But, you know, the moment you sat in that energy and you started doing what you do, you were at ease. That fear has gone. And it's an incredible feeling when we do step into that energy and spirit steps in.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting as well. Once that energy had kicked in and started, it was, I wouldn't say it was a breeze, but it is an ease. So I was able to just get in and continue on and accept that the people, the whoever's came to ask their questions. And I really enjoyed that part of it. And even now, as I'm thinking, that's really good, but there just feels to be that little bit more, and this is where it's, again, still out of my comfort zone. Even for anybody watching today, test those little bits of query, that the inquiry with self, because I like doing artwork, and I've been attracted now. It's called poured paintings or something like that. It's not that that's what I want to do. It's something that is, and I'm connecting with, I'm getting for myself the visuals of how I'm going to be doing some other readings. And I watched a video this morning, tea leaf reading. I'd love to try that too. And
nice.
To you, even before Sunday, I might take a bowl and some water and do some.
You did.
In the end, it was just going to be too messy if I did that. And I thought, I won't, chicken out. Why do we back out? Because we have that little bit of fear. I'm thinking, it's go forward and actually explore some of these different ways of doing readings.
That's it. Yeah. And it's funny because we all have fear to one degree or another, sort of thing. It's whether we choose to push past it. Fear really stands for false emotions that appear real. Sort of thing. So, they do feel real to us, but we can push through it and we can break those barriers. So it's incredible. Simone just said on my page, well done, Roz, and you got lots of kisses there as well. So, and I am getting a few comments on my page at the moment. So, guys, if you're on my page, Leanne Winston Psychic Medium, please drop over to the link in the comments or above the photo, the live with My Time TV, and hit that and come into My Time TV. Remember to hit the like button while you're there if you haven't already done it, but that way Roz can see your comments in the background on the dashboard that we can bring up on screen as well.
Leanne, do you actually know what it looks like when you're trying, because I don't use a mobile phone and only very occasionally my iPad for actually connecting into the lives. I nearly do everything on a desktop of one form or another. What does it actually look like? Where is it that they look for that link in a description on a mobile phone?
It should be pretty much the same as what it is on when you go through the broadcast. It will have the summary of the show above the picture. So it will be in there. You probably need to go click see more because there'll be more that will drop down in the description side of it. Beautiful.
So hopefully that'll sort for those even on the replay. I think it's pretty much the same. You still need to click that link and you'll get the replay, obviously. Or if you really want to, you can go and watch it on Binge Networks because it gets sent through to there automatically too.
And I think there is a way to comment on there as well, but I'm not sure how we see those comments. I have heard that. I haven't checked it out though.
Yeah. I would have to say I haven't checked the Binge Networks myself very often lately. I did right at the start because it's the exciting factor of knowing that you're actually going out to somewhere that's global.
That's it.
A good reminder to revisit it, isn't it?
Yep, that's it. So welcome and also welcome to all those people that are watching us on the binge. It's lovely to be able to connect with you guys. So,
It is.
yeah.
Now, I'm just going through, I'm not sure where I actually got up to now. I know Tony's here, so hi, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
And does that turn it off? Yes, it does. Oh, and usually when I'm putting the comments up, because really we can get lost and away in time with a lot of things when we start going sidetracked, and I do it often, the rabbit warren of the internet, and even just Facebook, spend way too much time on it. But ultimately, what purpose is it that people are coming here to these shows? It is to actually, well, we do see the evidence of that in some of the questions, the way that they're phrased. Go back.
Rewind.
The energy's kicking in again. I had a really day yesterday.
Yeah, but this is the tiredness as well. I find after I do big shows, I was extremely exhausted. I sat down for half an hour in the lounge last night, and I said to my daughter, we've got to be gone in an hour. I'm just going to sit here, and I'm going to admit I sat to watch the start of Bold and Beautiful that I haven't seen for weeks on end, and I must have just gone sort of thing. To be waken up to this lovely head massage, she's going, Mum, I didn't want to wake you up too fast, but we really need to go. And I'm like, we're running late now. Thank you, honey. But it is the energy, the tiredness comes through for 2 or 3 days after a big show for me.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I can remember it from big events that I did when I was with Kindred Spirit and further things that I did after that. Yeah, it does happen. And it is also that honouring self in allowing that rest. So, but I'm back into it. I really enjoy being part of presenting this show. So it's just something I'm finding each week. It doesn't matter how I feel before it comes into it or how pressured. Sometimes it's not often, I tell you. It's more about other things I'm supposed to have done. I love the breakout is here and answering questions that people are asking. Now, just before we get into it, it's something that I watched this morning. I can't even remember because I do get up fairly early. It was one of those, as you're passing, there's a video that's there that I clicked on and started watching, and it was about the quantum physics side of energy and all that is. Now, it's learning and things that I did when I started actually breaking away from what was the norm, empty nest syndrome, all the other things where we actually start to consider what actually is there for me now. And she was actually describing and explaining things that I'd done as learnings back in 2004, 5 and 6, and that path of growth that I took in that growing awareness of there's not just being a mother and a business owner and helping a husband and all that sort of stuff. My life completely changed because I did decide to divorce. Well, it wasn't the decision to divorce, but to follow my heart. So the other followed as part of the process. And what questions do you actually ask self? And she was just so explaining in ways that really identify with me and how I felt. And I'm sort of thinking, what questions are we asking? And I'm wanting to actually ask you to think more deeply about what questions you're asking. What sort of help are you wanting from the outside that you can actually find that is within yourself? Because this show, if I can find it again, I'll actually put a link on my hypnosis Facebook page because it was that good. It is everything that we really need to know about and of ourselves is from within, and we're just too busy trying to find it from out there that we don't spend the time within here. It's actually finding the balance between the two. And I'm just asking you, when you're asking your questions, have a little more detail around being a bit more specific and really thinking, what do you really want to know as far as your questions go? Does that
Yeah.
sound about right, Leanne? I'm looking at
It does.
because you're on my
Love it. It does. It's perfect, Ros, because we do. We think we scratch the surface, but there's so much more lower than that. So to get to the core of what you're really asking, you need to go deeper. And I think it's perfect timing, because I did see another medium only this morning. It flicked up on my page. She talked about people being psychic jumpers, or psychic junkies was probably more the word she used. And it is, we jump from one person to another with the same question, but when we go really deep in and we get to that core and we get the answer, we need to listen at the same time. So it's perfect. Yeah.
And I think we have been reinforcing that a bit over the last few weeks that we've come on. And I think really it is that important. Trust your inner self first, honestly.
That's
and have some verification. Nothing wrong with that. That's what we're here for, to help each other.
Yeah,
guide,
for sure.
And it's certainly not telling you what to do, because ultimately any decision comes down to your own. And choose.
And it's your own reactions. Yep, that's it. You can only do what you decide to do with the information. And at the same time, you go by who you're drawn to. So if it's drawn to myself and Ros, or it's drawn to somebody else, you go to that one person that you're drawn to and stick with that person. Ask your question. Don't go from one to another, because that's when you bring in the havoc in your life. So, and it confuses things dramatically. Yep. So I just got to say, guys, for those that are on my psychic page, Leanne Winston Psychic Medium, jump over to mytimetv.live and you will find us live in the broadcast here to be able to comment. I tried to post the link there again, but it kept playing the voices, so the video live, so I sort of stopped doing that. Yeah. But I can see we've got a few comments coming in now.
Cool. I'm just over on it doesn't look like there's any comments on my Hypnosis Plus with Ros, so that's good. It just means I've educated you really well and you're in the right link. So thank you.
You've done well.
It does take some time to re-educate. Now, I'm just going to the first one that's on the list, and I'm aware we have seen Dana ask questions fairly frequently, which is fine. I'm not putting any judgment on anybody's feeling their need to ask questions. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, am I going to do hi to us, and am I going to die this week, Friday? Or is it something bad going to happen? Look, hon, honestly, it was straight away as I was scrolling through right from the start. There's a no to that. But focusing on negative is not healthy. So instead of what you don't want to happen, change that perspective to what you want in your life. Just totally do a 180. And that's where I'm leaving it. If you've got anything to add to that one, Leanne?
I think Dana knows my answer already. So if that's what she was trying to ring me about this morning, she will know my comment was going to be, get out of your own head. Ground yourself. Okay, you have the tools to beat this, Dana. You're getting pulled back into older habits. Okay,
and it is a choice.
So just breathe.
I've choose to do that.
That's it, exactly. Say, hey, Katie. I was wondering if you can connect with my loved ones who are in spirit, please. It was my grandmother's anniversary this month on the 12th of February. Okay. I don't know if your grandmother had a bit of a funny throat or her voice would change as she speaks, honey, because as I was reading your message, I could feel my voice changing, my throat in that side of it. So I do get a very loving energy with your grandmother, and I get the sense that she's very much around you. You feel it. Now, I don't know if she would get the rosy red cheeks, but all of a sudden she's just making me feel like my cheeks are heating up with that, and I get the beautiful smile, the loving, the pride that comes through. I'm not sure what was going on. Pardon me. I'm not sure what was going on through the stomach area, but she's giving me the indigestion as well. So I do feel that her stomach near the end had become quite sort of sensitive at the same time. So I'll just leave you with that. I want to put the excuse me. I want to put the angel. I don't know what she's doing to me there. I want to put the angel rings around you as well. Okay.
And now I'll solo this because I did get the feeling that she was giving you a card. And this is where, with the new position of where I've put the camera, that might be a bit tricky to get the right lighting and focus. Is that working?
It's not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the child. And I'm just feeling such a childlike love around this card. It's the Lenormand deck, of course, again. I'm finding that I'm being more and more drawn to that. It's still a bit difficult. So whether there is another baby coming up in the family as well to be an indication with the child as well. I'm just getting that feeling, that really nice feeling of family love from her and the continuity of it. Okay. And cool. And Ashton is next. I'm hoping that's how you pronounce it. Is there anyone that's passed away around me and my daughter? She's looking around the room, following something, smiling and talking. So,
yep. Now, that is very common with children. Children are very intuitive, very open still. Usually until about the age of 10 to 12, they start to lose it. Some will keep it. So when she's getting drawn and like that around the room or will stare into space, she is picking up on spirit, and I get a grandmother figure around that, honey. They will talk. So as your daughter gets older, listen to what she's got to say. Ask her the questions, because you are likely to get messages or something that reminds you of a loved one that is passed over through your daughter. Your daughter will be the communication point sort of thing with that side of it, the messenger. So yes, I do feel there's a beautiful, warm, loving grandmother energy that is there now. I'm not sure if it's on your side of the family or it's your partner's side of the family, but I get there's actually multiple people there is the reference I get when I said that. So I get the warmth, the love that comes through there. Okay. Your daughter reminds you a bit of this person too. So I want to say in the way that she will react, her facial expressions will remind you of them. Okay.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Sorry about that. I was just trying to find the next one in the list because I'm trying to keep
that's all right.
with the timeline of when they showed up.
Yeah,
So
I could hear your mind thinking.
With that one. Yeah. I mean, yes. I wasn't tuning in myself with that one. I was trying to find, the practicalities that's behind the scene, that type of thing. Yeah. So,
okay, the sister. Hi, Sue. Does my sister have any messages for me, please? Okay, do you want me to start on that one, hun?
That fell out. So I'll just do that as a focal for now, because to me it's just straight away it flew out. Yeah. So I'm wondering if you're going travelling on a plane, because that's how fast it came up. So I'll just leave that one at that.
Okay. And I feel like your sister wasn't able to communicate in the way that she wanted to before her passing, honey. So whether there were things left unsaid or she just couldn't get that out, she's playing very much with my throat chakra, which the throat chakra is to do with communication. So I do feel there is a lot of love, a lot of pride that comes through. I just feel like I need to say thank you. So she says you will know what she means by that, but I get thank you. And thank you for being you, okay? So I do feel that there was a very close bond there as well with that. Now, I need to acknowledge the number 7. So whether I'm with the 7th of the month or I'm with July, I just get the reference to the 7 is very important in the family as well. And I also feel like I need to acknowledge a birthday that literally has just been, a birthday anniversary, just been or about to be, okay? So that's her way of letting you know she's still very much around the family. She still keeps an eye on the birth dates, and she knows that she's dearly missed at the same time, honey. All right? So I'll leave you with her love. Thank you. Thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you. And part of what I was just getting as Leanne was speaking as well, is just a little extension on that card that flew out, being the travelling. It was also a feeling around you that I'm not sure if you actually felt you were in your sister's shadows or anything, but there just feels like it's the right time for you now to actually start, freeing that free feeling of being able to shine your own light, be able to fly through what you're needing to do, and that it's just that release and being able to glow, shine, be who you are in all that is for you. So that's what I felt around it too. And I'm just trying to find the buttons here. So
yep, that's the one we
did different having the distance. So yes, so sorry about that. So Annette's doing some self-learning herself with journaling and Dashing used the dash this week. I don't know what that is, but
Annette on Friday goes live with Paula, and Annette's is planning on being on the dashboard end of things this week. So Annette, if you do need a hand with it, please sing out. I'm happy to give you a little rundown. Maybe through Zoom or something. I can share my screen with you.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of us that can help you out with that one. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
With it. Yeah, that's right. It's actually quite easy doing the back end. It's just having things set up. As far as, I had the alignment there and it's easy and you wouldn't have known I was doing it, but it's there. Won't be like this.
It's a last second change.
Hey, Shirley here.
Oh, thank you, honey. Hi, Leanne. It was nice to see you with Jay Lane. Wondering if your changes in my life soon. Thank you, honey. I am actually being a guest on Jay Lane's show tomorrow morning, which for them is Tuesday night at 10:30 a.m. our time tomorrow as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Jay is absolutely lovely. Now, I do get changes, but honey, for those changes to come in, I get the reference to you need to put yourself first. So to me, it's the feeling you're always taking that step back, putting everybody else before yourself, and you've done this for a very long time. That needs to change. You need to put yourself first, which is going to bring that change in. Okay, that change is needed is the reference I get with that. Okay, so I wish you all the very best with it.
Yeah. Sorry.
I
just sounded a little distracted. I'm trying to line this up, and I'll take the comment down because it was actually 2 cards that I felt needed drawing for you, Shirley. The first one was the mice. I wish I could stop that glare and that it would actually focus well, but you get the drift of it. It's the place that I'm focusing on is where the mouse, that central mouse, is actually nibbling away at that cloth in the middle. And I'm seeing that as just a little bit of a warning. My eye went to that as Leanne was saying, focusing on yourself. So I'm feeling that is saying, don't let the little issues niggle away in the background that are taking your attention. It is drawing your attention away from what you need to be doing for yourself. So do use that one as the bit of the warning. Now, am I holding the right one up there? So that's the mouse one.
That's the mouse.
Get a little bit more clarity there. Does it focus better or not?
Not really.
So find where your eye's drawn to if you're going to watch the replay, Shirley. So, and see what you feel about it. But with the owls, this is the expanded edition. So these owls are slightly different. The owls are the extra bird image. So there's beautiful artistry in there, but it's also indicating a better depth to what you're actually seeing in what the birds will tell you. The freedom of choice, choose wisely. And as it is that flight that's happening, it's letting yourself go, not randomly, but letting yourself move into what's a different direction you might have been looking at, whether it's something that's a hobby interest or whether it's something that's a business interest. you've got something that you've been thinking about that you want to move into as well that is more for you, consider it seriously.
And I like the way Ros kept saying it, for you. It's you. It's all about you, honey. Okay? Beautiful. So all the best with that.
I'm not sure what this one is that Tony's brought up. Simone McBurney, you on the My Time Live. So that's just to make sure that someone is shifted to the right page. So I'm hoping all of that's happening for people now.
Yeah, there are still people commenting on my page, guys. So jump over to the mytimetv.live page. Actually, Ros, are you able to bring Tony's comment back up? Because she did have the My Time TV, just so people know what we're talking about.
Does it change by it?
Too. Yeah. Tony's got it there, mytimetv.live. So if you put that in the search of Facebook, it will bring you over to our page. Yep. Scroll down, you will find us live and you can comment there.
What I'll actually do is share my screen, which is this is my page, and am I on solo? That's the one I didn't check first.
I'm not too sure.
On solo? No. I'm trying to get it up. And this then goes up to, I'm hoping I'm doing this right. That's what you get. Yeah, I'm trying out a new thing. We haven't done this, but have we done this before on one of our shows or not? So
share the screen. Yes, I think you did.
Where it is, I've got to go close that down. So where you're actually seeing the link is, can you see the actual mouse moving around when I do the share screen?
Yep.
While I'm doing this, I can't look at the back end. I'm looking at my computer now. So in my page, this is where it is. Where you're seeing that link, it's in the description. And you need to check that it is this one. You can even click on that and it will go to the My Time TV page, but you still have to find the video. It'll be there with the live red thing.
Scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, so that's all you need to do. So now I've got to find, how do I get rid of that? I go down with that and stop sharing somewhere. I don't know where to do that, so that I can't remember.
You just drop it down to the lobby.
Yeah, it's in the lobby, so that's fine. So we're just back to that. So thank you for the reminder of actually bringing it to people's attention so I could show it on screen.
Yeah.
So thanks, Tony.
Perfect.
And I was then looking at Jodie's, wasn't I? Well, hang on, didn't click on it properly. You got to actually be on the button. So here you go.
The buttons move too, which makes it a little bit more challenging.
The finger on the mouse does too. Fat finger syndrome. That FFS is not always what we might assume. It's fat finger syndrome.
My mind goes in all directions and I'm just not going there today.
No.
We won't start, will we? Okay, Jodie. Oh, honey, some health issues. I'm straight away taken around the throat, the chest, honey, for you with that. I do feel like I've got different things going on, but I also get, look at what is sitting in your aura at the moment, honey, because I do feel that you've held on to things for a very long time and it has manifest. My chest feels heavy with you, honey, so you can maybe give us some feedback if you don't mind, if that makes sense to you. I'm not getting warning bells going off. I do feel like it is more about maintaining your health, okay? Breathe, ground yourself, let go of the energy, because I do feel like there is a lot of old energy that's been held on to that is needing to be released, and things will then open up, okay? Go for it, Ros.
Yeah. What I got immediately, because this is Parks, it's a beautiful image, and what I immediately felt was public speaking. Putting yourself out there. Do you do public speaking, or is it something that you are looking to do? Because I'm feeling that quite strongly as far as that throat chakra feels to me, even if it's talking about what your health issues might be as far as being able to help someone else. I don't normally go into health issues because I think that's where the skills of doctors and our natural therapists and other, we all have different areas that we are skilled at. Medical stuff isn't really mine, although I've got a few experiences myself that I could share. It does feel to me that you're needing to actually speak it out and share and increase the awareness around what you're feeling as well. That will actually help with some of what you're experiencing. So I'm hoping that helps you to understand it. Okay?
Yeah. And that is another point too, hun, is like Roz says, we're not trained. Most of us are not trained in the medical field. I'm only the messenger from spirit in that sense, but we always encourage people to go and see the doctors. If you don't feel right, go and ask the questions, get the professional help. Okay, in that sense.
Yes, do.
Okay, so sending you healing though, honey. Hey, Leanne.
That is something we can all do.
Yeah, that's it. We don't, exactly. Leanne, I get the reference to Mum is acknowledging the roller coaster around you a little bit lately. So whether I'm looking at your health, but I also feel like I've got the ups and the downs. I feel like I'm overheating with your energy as well. So whether the heat is affecting you, I just get the reference to it's that feeling of getting rather hot and holding on to that. Okay. I do feel there's a lot of love and a lot of pride that comes through there too, honey.
I'm just holding that up. When you say confusion, Leanne, that's the card that was on top. Oh, gee, which way does that go? Oh, there.
Just there. That's perfect.
Yep. And that's a compass.
Yep.
So whatever that means for you as far as finding your direction, that's what I'm getting. Okay. Now, and on we go. This is where I start to get a little, because I'm looking at ones that go back to 10:45. Oops. Julie, I'd like, whoops. Yeah, you're right. They do jump around the comments sometimes, don't they?
I should tip on it. Guys, don't forget to hit the share button and invite your friends and family to join in as well. And also, if you're watching this as a replay, put hashtag replay. So we know. Quick on the great. Hi, Leanne. It was nice to see you with Jay. Oh, yeah, we did Shirley's one.
We've done Shirley's.
Before.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, thank you, Shirley.
I thought, Jay, yeah, I think we might have done. It is great to have a little more specific questions being put, but I might have described that after these ones were actually typed in. Back over time. Sorry.
Shirley, I will just touch on that though, because I get there's changes coming your way. So I get opportunities with that. It feels positive. It's going to bring growth with it at the same time. So I do feel that it's important to be able to jump on those opportunities if they feel right to you, okay? I'm going to say watch the stomach. I feel like you're holding on to stress around that at the moment. So just acknowledge that stress and let it go, okay?
And we've got this question, and Tony's actually asking about the fear when we were talking about that, causing physical reactions of anxiety and panic attacks, which it can do. Leanne would say breathe. Rosie would say breathe. But one of the things that I like, and I'll just see if it can be something that's a little bit more demonstrated, as far as the breathing. What was that?
I was going to say while you were getting to that point, I just love the way these people hear my voice in their head saying Leanne's going to say breathe.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually do. I would say the same thing because it's the start of actually grounding and centering. So when you're actually doing your breathing, it's not just a matter of like that's just your normal breathing. What you are actually doing is consciously moving air into your lungs, but it's not just into the top half of the lungs, it's actually moving it down so that you're breathing into your tummy. And because I've got my brand new chair set at the right height, angle, space away from the camera, I'm not going to stand up. But just imagine it is moving it down to your tummy, so that if this is my tummy, you're actually having the stomach moving in and out a bit. So you're taking that deep breath slowly and deeply, thinking about the little molecules of oxygen, nitrogen, and everything that's in your air. Think about that oxygen moving into your lungs. But it's the extending the diaphragm so that it's reflecting in the tummy, all right?
Beautiful.
So you're doing it really long and slow. You're feeling that tummy expansion. And when you're actually breathing it out, some will guide you to doing think the positives in, and then think the negatives or what you don't need out, which sometimes I use that phraseology, phrasing, words, whatever. They're only words. Have the intention that you're going to expel the whole lung, the whole tummy area. So you're doing it from the bottom up. So you're actually moving the air from the tummy lung first. So you're sort of squeezing it. And this is the action part. You're expelling it slowly with your mouth open, and even the sound. It doesn't matter if you're using a noise with it at the same time. So you're expelling it all to the point of, and then another little one, just to finish it off. You do that a couple of times and you've actually fully grounded, and you're releasing that tension, because at the same time your shoulders are dropping. You're actually putting action into it. So I thought I'd just share that.
And it's something to keep practicing and be aware of as well, because we think we're breathing, but we really are doing that shallow breath sort of thing. And to add to that, Tony, if that doesn't work, honey, I've got a size 10 foot that I can kick you up the bum with.
Mine's only a 7.5. You can choose.
What size would you like? I know you only got a little tush, but still. I said that to Roz the other day when she said, I nearly rang you to say I wasn't coming. I said to her, I would have kicked you up the ass. So, as I was just about ready to push her through the door, but she walked willingly. So,
yeah, exactly.
I love it.
So,
beautiful. Excellent. Hey, Jenna. Having nightmares, the one has been about my mum. Is he okay? Is he okay? Oh, is she okay? Yes, honey, I do feel that mum is okay. Now, sometimes when we have dreams, nightmares and stuff like that, it doesn't always mean that it's exactly the same as the dream. Usually, like when people dream about, say, death means new beginnings sort of thing. They're not just the simple dreams, the messages in that side of it. Now, as in the nightmares, I want to say look at what else is going on in his life at the moment. So I do feel that nightmares are more based around that heavier energy when things get a little bit stuck or he's worried about something. So I want to say maybe just ask him what's going on in his life. What is he concerned about? Because I feel like it's more about the awakening time than it is about the sleep. Okay? All right, so I wish him all the best with that. Sometimes we just got to acknowledge it and let it go.
Yeah. And on that, wishing him all the best, there you go. That's what flew out, was the 4-leaf clover. So I think everything's going to be fine. It's a very good card to actually have come out. So now I'm just looking at so on solo still. Hang on, go back to that. As you were talking, I was just noticing some comments here as far as oops, hang on. Video isn't working. Jeanette, you mentioned that there. This was back over the half hour ago.
Oh, early ago. Sometimes if
so
you have trouble, just hit the refresh button.
Yeah, so is that for our end that the video wasn't working or your own? So that's a point I wanted to make. Yeah, hit the refresh.
Yes,
Thanks for that.
Sorry, I jumped in a bit fast then, didn't I?
No, that's all right. And even Simone, well, you've probably seen the comments on your page if you're monitoring it that way. I'm not, or am I? No, you're doing your psychic medium one, aren't you? Leanne?
Yeah, I'm on my psychic medium one.
Yeah, and I've got my Hypnosis Plus that's clear. It was last time I checked. If there is anything that crops up with pages to do with whatever browser you're using, BeLive TV, it actually works better on the Chrome. So that's what we're using. It's by habit, and it's just so easy. You just hit the refresh button and it comes back. So
yeah. And also, guys, if we're not bringing up your questions, if you're on My Time TV, it just means there's a lot of questions. Like I can see in the back end here at the moment, we've got close to 100 comments today, which is pretty cool. And sometimes we do, we can't get to all of them either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And is there a message for Marsha? Now, this is where, please, next time that you come and join us, do define the questions with a little more detail. Just a request.
Yeah. Okay. Marsha, I want to say there's a move coming around you, honey. So I do feel like I've got change in direction, in move in that sense. So I want to say, look at what gets put in front of you more mid to late this year. Okay.
And oops. This is town, or just can't quite remember what the actual thing is. I've looked through the guidebook just to see what the names of the cards are to get the extended ones, the expanded version being that's what this deck is. This is Tower or Town, something like that. So it's to do with a lot of people and everything, but it's more to do with change and things that are going to actually move around for you because of the number of people involvement and that sort of thing. That's what I'm feeling. So hopefully that's helpful as an extended explanation. Now this, I thought it's an interesting question to put up. Okay.
It is.
So over time, as a woman who was brought up as a child in the Methodist Church as the faith that my parents, grandparents, and even before them probably were following, and good Wesleyan upbringing, it was very interesting sometimes what the understanding was around some of even what the Bible was. A little more liberal, I dare say, than what the Catholics probably had as an understanding, as what other churches had as an understanding. But it was certainly the Western style. It wasn't what was your Eastern religions or your Buddhism or the Islam or that area. It was strictly our Christian traditions. I did, for myself, even have a little bit of a conflict in a battle around even just learning the Reiki. And that's where I started. Where I started was learning tarot card reading, and this was back in a workshop in 2003, 2, something like that. I'd had the interest all my life, but just didn't follow it until then, pick it up. So I'd been part of the Uniting Church by the time I was old enough to sort of really understand, go through the confirmation process myself as an active Christian, go through the questions that I was asking myself around, but it just doesn't, what is it that the church teaches? What is it that the Bible teaches? What is it that I believe? And within all of that, the questions were asked at times, but it's evil, tap, 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 and all the rest. It isn't. It's the questions that can be asked, really, it gets back to knowing yourself, knowing you're in a journey and understanding why you believe what you believe. And then also being open to new learnings and actually open to changing your mind, because you can. We all have different stages in life, and I don't know whether I'm going the right way or whether it should be that way, of growth. So we need to be able to understand what feels true for us as individual independent people, unique each in what we do. I mean, I was teaching things from a pulpit as a lay preacher that I wouldn't even think of now as being part of my truth now. So it's the questions are, oh, that's an interest. You know, as far as my response goes now, because each and every one of us is actually in a different stage on our own path in life, the response really is, well, that's a really interesting opinion. You don't judge it because they're at a different stage. You just answer it. That's how I answer it now. So what's your impressions, Leanne? What have you had as an experience?
I'm a bit the same, and this is Anne, this is a really interesting question because I literally had a conversation with my father-in-law over tea last night because he feels that spirituality, like what we do, is a cult sort of thing, and I'm trying to explain to him in my head, a cult is somebody that is a leader, is a group with a leader that has a belief that it's very much like that and will follow that person to the end of the world, so to speak. We don't have leaders. We just do what, comes to us, the gift side of it. I quite often will have clients that are religious, and a lot of those times, some of those clients are looking for evidence. They are coming to me because they are now questioning their religion, their beliefs. It's not quite sitting right in one way or another, and that's where they are in their journey. And to be able to give them proof of their loved ones around them, whether they walk away and they go, well, it's not for me, that's fine, or they may start thinking of it a little bit differently. But I do think that people are opening up more so to this side of stuff as well, because religion, I'm not religious. I've been to church. I went to Sunday school for a while as a child and all that side of it, but it really just didn't resonate with me, even though my grandparents was more the people that were pushing it than my parents in that sense. So for me, religion has served its time, its space, and it works for some, but it doesn't work for everybody, sort of thing. And I think back in, the last few centuries, yes, it was probably needed, sort of thing, but we are going with that more loving light energy, letting go of the structures, so to speak. So I've had, religious people at my live shows outside the door protesting about what I do, but, I just wish them well. Their religion is their thing. I don't push my beliefs onto them, and I at the same time would hope that others don't push their beliefs onto others as well. But I just say it's what works for you, what gets you through in that side of it. So hopefully that has answered your question without overdoing it, so to speak.
Thank you for the question, because I think it really is a valid one. I'm trying to, there it is. I had to go all the way back because I just looked at the clock and thought, oh my, hell, that went, oh, he's hell. There isn't a hell and a heaven.
Really good question.
I went to find the question. I looked at the clock. My gosh, that time went quick, and we've not even got to, I've only just got to 10:58 on my timeline. We really, how can you buy time? You can't. I just want to pass on, I think, really making putting the awareness across that we all have exactly the same amount of time to live our lives. We all have a past and a story. We all have a future. We all have connection with each other. And it's coming to the awareness of who we are, and that does come into looking at, it's not looking introverted, introspectively inner all the time, because we are living a world that we're part of, the big picture as well, interacting with people in relationship. But it is with that focus, look, find that inner questioning for yourself of who you are. It doesn't have to be for a passion or a purpose or a destiny or anything like that. I do believe it's being yourself. It's being who you ultimately can be to the best of your ability for where you are right now. And the ultimate thing is, what do we all want? It's love. We really do crave for love. that self-love is what I'm sure nearly every one of us, 100%, are missing some part of that for ourselves. Learn to love yourself first and gift it out. And that's where your happiness will be. That's just it. Well, Spirit's putting that there. Go for it.
Yeah.
And
can I add to that? On top of that, everything starts for us. It starts with us. All right? So we've got to give to ourselves what we expect others to give to us. So start within and then go out. Let that inner light shine.
And that's what I'd like to pass on. Thanks, Leanne. Thank you for being part of. I've thoroughly enjoyed doing this show. Time just went too quick. It's a reminder. Look, we can't cover all the questions that get asked, but I do some. It depends on what I've got coming up for right now as to whether I've got time to go back and draw a card for everyone. Some of you will know I have done that. Sometimes I've missed it. Sometimes I do it. It's potluck. Yeah. That's what I like about the show. Potluck. Come along next week, same time.
That's it, same back channel. We do try to get back and look at your comments, but for me, I'm jumping into another. I've got a face-to-face client shortly, so but I'm back on tonight as well.
So thank you, everybody. There is many of us who are gifting our services skills out there on My Time TV, on other platforms, anywhere. Just go where you're led. Because Spirit ultimately is that part of you, that connection that is to your soul, and you'll be guided. You just need to be open, aware, and looking. It is trust and love.
So true.
Okay, so till next week, share it round. Have a look at Binge Networks. There's lots of other shows on there too, not just the psychic medium types. It's heaps.
Oh, yeah. And it's only building all the time. And check out Roz's page, check out my page. The information to those, the links are in the description of this post as well. So,
and there is a way of, I'm not sure how you do the reminder thingy to, if our posts are coming up and the rest, but just click where you find your
notification of going live.
Yeah, that stuff.
Yep.
I'm just practicing getting it out. It should. Yeah. It's done a follow thing. Normally,
just remember to turn it on.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone, for being here. And I shall say toodaloo for now. Till next week. We'll see you.